Hi there, can you tell me who you are?
Yes, my name is Bill Lehman.
And Bill, what do you do for a living? Although I think the jacket gives you away.
Yeah, well, it certainly does. Yeah, I work for Waste Management. I'm the business development manager on the recycling side for the greater Mid-Atlantic area, which includes Eastern PA, New Jersey, and New York City.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, we're sitting in your office right now in Elizabeth,
Yes, we are.
where you just hosted a board of directors meeting of ANJR, which is the Association of New Jersey Recyclers.
That's correct.
That's right. And but before we get back to ANJR, let me just ask you a little bit about waste management.
Sure.
How long have you been with the company?
Well, I've been grandfathered in about 34 years right now.
Wow.
Was actually with a mom and pop company, Giordano Recycling.
Uh-huh.
It's actually the relatives. My wife is related to Anthony and his family. I lost my job in 1984 working for Hoffman LaRoche, and Anthony kind of took me in, said he was going to show me the waste paper business.
Uh-huh.
So I think, Frank, I've had really kind of the best of both worlds, working for a family-owned and operated business. Kind of got my sea legs there, learned a lot of things.
Wow.
Anthony always taught me how not to say no to a customer, but I was able to take a lot of those skills and that background, working with people, getting to know the industry. And when I moved over to Waste Management, when Anthony sold his company, I was able to employ a lot of those skills and those kind of work ethic and knowledge about working in the waste paper and recycling industry. So I was always grateful for being able to see the best of both worlds.
That's a great way to do it. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Sure is.
And now you're working for, you went from mom and pop to the world giant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Waste Management is
Yeah.
the largest waste company in the world.
That is correct, and it's been a wonderful ride with Waste Management. A lot of the folks that work here, my colleagues, peers, etc., all essentially came out of a mom and pop industry. I mean, these are companies that were bought up by Waste Management along the many years. So sort of in the same boat, a lot of smart, conscientious people that I work alongside of, and it's just a pleasure, coming out of like this melting pot of people that are very knowledgeable in the recycling and trash industry.
Well, we know about Waste Management as a waste hauler.
Yep.
Most people do. Anybody, you see the big blue trucks everywhere.
Yep.
Tell me, and of course, you do a lot of that in this state. You're the biggest hauler in the state.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. But tell me about the recycling side and other things you might do, facility operations and whatnot.
Well, I mean, I've had a variety of positions within Waste Management. I was a site manager, a plant manager at one point. I was a district manager at another point. I sort of learned, from the bottom up, if you will. Was promoted along the way, and at one point, I had an opportunity to settle into this position as a business development manager, which I really like because it's working with a lot of customers, whether they're municipal or commercial customers, trying to bring volume into our own sites. And even probably more importantly is I'm tasked with putting our own tons that are on our trucks into third-party facilities as well, because we can't internalize everything, and we look at everything in terms of the route efficiencies. So if the tons are on the truck, it's unnecessary to bring those tons up to Newark when we have recycling partners or third parties in different areas where we could put those tons down there. So we have over 36 different relationships with third-party processors that we put our tons down in that greater Mid-Atlantic area geography.
Very interesting. And what do you do specifically in the company in terms of recycling in this state?
Well, I mean, we run primarily single-stream plants. If you look at our plants here in Eastern PA in New Jersey, right here at this facility, which is the Flora Street, Julia Street facility, this is actually not single-stream. This is a dual-stream facility, and we combine it with a core facility for food waste processing and also a Type 10 solid waste transfer station. But over at St. Charles Street, we have a single stream facility for residential single stream. And then up in Patterson, we have a dual stream facility that processes paper. Then if we go across the river into eastern PA, we have 2 more large single stream plants, one in Philly and one in Allentown. So Frank, I guess that's a long-winded way of telling you, we do it all, right?
Right.
We process single stream, we process dual stream material, we handle high grades. We do food waste recycling with our core project. We have a spec fuel plant called Continuous Energy down in the Philadelphia area where we're taking some recyclables and some actual MSW and making a fuel pellet. And actually now they're taking that material and making it into construction material, like a pressed board for roofing and the roofing type material.
Oh, okay. And for people who might see this who don't know what MSW is, that's
Municipal solid waste.
Okay, no,
Sorry
very good.
about that.
Now you deal obviously, from what you say, with a lot of counties and municipalities
Sure
who and with their recycling programs. In New Jersey, the recycling of household materials is all, and commercial too. A lot of it is done by the county programs.
Correct.
And that brings us back to ANJR, Association of New Jersey Recyclers. So you are a board member and have been for quite a long time, have
Yes.
you not? Yeah. And you get to interact with these people, which I assume is good for you and your company because they are your customers, all right?
They are,
Yeah.
yes.
And it's good for them too because you're the guy they have to go to for these services. I think from what I've seen sitting at the table, it's been a really good interchange between the two of you, between the private sector and the public programs.
It has been.
And obviously it is because they've recognized you this year with their highest honor, which was formerly called the Rex Award, given to the member who they feel who has done the most for and shows the right characteristics and everything else, and has been a real leader. Now, the difference this year is you're the first person to receive the same award, but with a new name. Tell me about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so very interesting for me. I mean, I was very, very honored and fortunate. The Rex Award was the original award, the name of the award, like you had already mentioned. This year they named it after Gene Clark, the Gene Clark Award. Now, Gene Clark was the pioneer of our industry here in New Jersey. I believe she's from Montclair. She actually was, quite the woman in terms of her vision for recycling and starting it, way back then, which I believe was in the early 70s or possibly earlier.
Yeah.
So she's been a remarkable woman, and I just wish I would have known her, for years before my career got started. Because she's been around that long and just so highly regarded and respected. So for me, it's just such an honor that the first award for Gene Clark Rex Award was I was the lucky recipient. So that's a big deal.
Well, it's well deserved, and your peers here believe that, and that's why they made the award to you.
Thank you, Frank.
You're welcome. And I was around, believe it or not. Well, not believe it or not. If you look at my gray hair, you don't believe it. I was around when Gene was pushing to get that bill, the legislation that made New Jersey the very first state in the nation that required recycling of curbside. And it wasn't easy. Gene had a lot of opposition, but she was dogged and determined, and she kept building her coalition of supporters, and they eventually got it through. And now everybody loves recycling. You would have never known there was all the grumbling there was back there at the time.
That's a real legacy, for sure.
It really is. So now tell me, I know I mentioned what the municipal and county recycling coordinators get in being members here and interacting with folks like you. And there are a number of business people at the table here too, from other companies. And so what do you get from it? Why have you joined, and why would you recommend another company to join?
Well, you already said it, Frank.
Yeah.
It's just really good people that have been in our industry, people that are want to have and continue to have sustainable recycling programs. There are folks that have stuck with it, good or bad. So it's sort of a give and take, right? I get a lot off of them. They may get some good off of me, But I really appreciate the opportunity to get together, not only in a board meeting, but in other functions that ANJR runs throughout the year, or anywhere I may pop into them, because I get a tremendous amount of insight from, from where they've been and what different projects that they've been involved in. So that really helps me as well. So I like to think of it as me getting, something back from them, which is usually the case.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of education that passes back and forth too. A lot of intelligence gathering at these events. Right?
Absolutely, we share a lot of no secrets. You're right. We share everything, and we're friends. We're good friends.
Yeah.
So which really makes it nice.
Well, that's, I'm sure, part of the reason, or a good part of the reason why they had no trouble at all in awarding the very first Gene Clark Award to you as the outstanding member this year.
Thank you, Frank.
So
Very kind of you to say that.
Well, thank you very much. I've enjoyed your friendship too, and I wish you all the best in the future.
Frank, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll see you.